The officers didn't just stop her. They humiliated her. Not because she had done anything wrong, but because they thought she was nobody. A young black woman, riding alone. No expensive car, no escort, no badge on display. Just another ordinary person, easy to intimidate. The senior officer leaned against the patrol car, eyeing her with open disrespect. "Well, well," he said loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear. "Looks like someone thinks she's above the law." A few officers chuckled. One shook his head. Another muttered something under his breath. The woman removed her helmet, slowly, revealing calm eyes and a composed expression that didn't match the chaos around her. "I didn't do anything wrong," she said quietly. That only made them laugh harder. Because what they didn't know was that the woman they were mocking wasn't just a citizen. She was the one person in the entire county who could end their careers with a single phone call. And within the hour, the same officers who humiliated her would be standing at attention. Terrified. Her name was Danielle Brooks. She was 32 years old, and she was the district attorney of the entire county. But today, she didn't look like power. She looked like someone who had just finished a long drive. Simple jeans, a plain jacket, boots dusty from the road. No makeup, no jewelry, except a thin watch. No government vehicle. She had taken the day off to attend her younger cousin's graduation ceremony in a neighboring town. For once, she wanted to travel without attention, without security, without the weight of her title following her everywhere. Danielle had grown up in a working-class neighborhood where respect wasn't handed out freely. She knew how quickly people judged based on appearance alone. Still, she hadn't expected this. The roadblock appeared just outside a small town. Flashing lights, cones, several patrol cars, officers stopping vehicles at random. Routine checkpoint, she assumed. She slowed, rolled down her window, and waited patiently. An officer approached, his expression already suspicious. License and registration. She handed them over without argument. He glanced at the documents briefly, then at her, then back again. "Where are you headed?" "Family event," she replied. His tone sharpened. "That's not an answer." She kept her voice calm. "A graduation." Another officer walked over, peering into the car as if expecting to find something illegal hidden inside. "What's the rush?" he asked. "I'm not rushing." "Then why were you driving like you were?" "I wasn't speeding." The first officer smirked. "So now you're telling me how to do my job?" Danielle felt the familiar sting of injustice. The same feeling she'd heard described by countless victims sitting across from her desk over the years. She could have ended it right there. One sentence. One name. But she didn't. Because something in their behavior bothered her deeply. If they treated her this way without knowing who she was, how did they treat people who truly had no power at all? "I'm just trying to get to my family," she said softly. Instead of de-escalating the situation, the officers grew more aggressive. "Step out of the vehicle." She complied slowly, keeping her hands visible. The sun was hot. The asphalt radiated heat through the soles of her boots. Traffic crawled past, drivers staring curiously. Another officer circled her car, tapping the trunk with a baton as if testing something. "Mind if we take a look inside?" "Do you have a reason?" That was the wrong question. His expression hardened instantly. "Oh, so now you're being difficult." "I'm just asking." Within seconds, the atmosphere shifted from routine stop to confrontation. "Turn around." Her heart rate increased, but her face remained composed. Handcuffs clicked around her wrists, not painfully tight, but tight enough to send a clear message. Humiliation burned hotter than the sun overhead. People were watching, recording, whispering. One officer laughed quietly. "Guess the day just got interesting." They searched her car anyway. Nothing. No contraband, no suspicious items, nothing but a gift bag on the passenger seat and a neatly folded graduation card. That didn't stop them. "You're coming with us," the IAB senior officer said. "For what?" "Failure to cooperate." She almost smiled at the absurdity. Inside the patrol car, the air smelled faintly of coffee and disinfectant. The back seat was hard plastic, designed for people who didn't deserve comfort. As the car pulled away, Danielle stared out the window, her reflection staring back at her. Calm, observant, silent. She was memorizing everything. Badge numbers, faces, voices, the sequence of events. Years of prosecuting cases had trained her mind to record details automatically. At the station, things didn't improve. She was led through the front entrance, still in handcuffs, past civilians, waiting at the counter. Conversations stopped. Eyes followed her. A desk officer looked up lazily. "What's the charge?" "Non-compliance, suspicious behavior." Danielle almost laughed. She was placed in a holding room. Not a fully cell, but not comfortable either. Bare walls, a metal bench, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Minutes passed, then more. An officer entered with paperwork. "Name?" She hesitated just long enough to make him look up. "Danielle Brooks. Address?" She gave it. He scribbled without interest. "Occupation?" She met his eyes. "Attorney." He didn't react. Probably assumed she meant a small-time private lawyer, if that. He stood to leave, then paused. "You should have just cooperated." She didn't respond, because she had cooperated. The room fell silent again. Somewhere down the hall, phones rang. Someone laughed. A door slammed. After nearly an hour, a different officer entered, older, more alert, with a cautious expression. He studied her face carefully, then her paperwork, then her face again. "Did you say you're an attorney?" "Yes." "What kind?" She tilted her head slightly. "Criminal prosecution." Something changed in his posture. "Where?" She held his gaze. "This county." His eyes widened, not dramatically, but enough. "Wait here." He left quickly. Moments later, voices rose outside, urgent, confused. Footsteps approached, several sets. The door opened, and suddenly the room was full of officers who looked nothing like they had earlier. No smirks, no casual posture, no dismissive tone, just tension. The captain stepped forward, face pale. "Ma'am, are you—" "District Attorney. Brooks?" She nodded once. The silence that followed felt heavier than anything before it. One officer actually took a step back. Another looked at the floor. The captain cleared his throat, struggling to regain composure. "Why didn't you say something?" Danielle stood slowly, wrists still cuffed in front of her. "Because I wanted to see how you treat people when you think no one important is watching." No one had an answer for that. The handcuffs were removed immediately, almost frantically. "I am deeply sorry, ma'am," the captain said. "This should never have happened." But she wasn't interested in apologies. She was interested in accountability. "Who ordered the arrest?" No one spoke. Her gaze moved across the room, stopping on the senior officer from the checkpoint. He looked very different now. Rigid, sweating, eyes darting as if searching for an escape that didn't exist. "Officer," she said calmly. "Step forward." He obeyed, slowly. "On what legal basis did you detain me?" You were being uncooperative." "With what lawful order?" He opened his mouth, then closed it, because there hadn't been one. The captain intervened, voice tight. "We will conduct a full internal investigation." Danielle shook her head slightly. "No, you will do more than that." She stepped past them toward the hallway. Every officer moved aside instinctively. "This department has a pattern problem," she said, "and today you chose the wrong person to demonstrate it on." Outside, word had already spread. Local media vans were arriving, cameras pointed toward the entrance, reporters whispering urgently into microphones. When Danielle walked out, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Flashes, questions, shouted names. She didn't stop, didn't smile, didn't perform. She simply said one sentence. "My office will be reviewing this incident in full." That was enough, because everyone knew what that meant. Within 48 hours, an official investigation was launched. Body cam footage was requested, dispatch records pulled, complaints from previous citizens reopened. What started as one humiliating stop began unraveling something much larger. Patterns emerged. Similar incidents, same officers, same tactics. By the end of the month, disciplinary actions rolled out across the department. Suspensions, terminations, mandatory retraining. The senior officer who had laughed first was placed on administrative leave pending formal charges. But Danielle never spoke publicly about revenge, only about reform. Weeks later, she attended another public event, this time in full professional attire, surrounded by staff and security. An elderly woman approached her quietly. "Thank you," she said, voice trembling. "Something like that happened to my grandson." No one believed him. Danielle squeezed her hand gently. "I believe him," she said, because that had been the point all along. Power isn't proven by how you treat powerful people. It's proven by how you treat those who seem powerless. The officers thought they had stopped an ordinary woman. Instead, they had stopped accountability itself. And this time, accountability didn't drive away quietly. It stayed. It investigated. And it changed everything.